Ever since drones became a popular thing, they started blowing up everywhere, and I've never really gotten my hands on what I would consider to be an actual drone, but now I have my hands on one. And that's what I'm looking at today, the Bwine F7 Drone. Is the night functionality as good as it claims? Is the camera really 4K? Is flying it actually fun? Well, that's what I'll be looking at today. I would like to say thanks to Bwine, or Bwine, I'll say Bwine because I think that's what it is, for sending me this drone. I'm no pro or anything, they're not paying me to say anything explicitly good, so this video is coming at you unbiased from someone who's never gotten to work with this kind of actually functional drone before. My name is Mark, and the only drones I've flown require you to be within like 10 feet. This is my first drone with GPS or any type of advanced functionality, so it's been pretty exciting to take a first look. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into things. I was reached out to by a brand I had never heard of, so I was a little suspicious and a little on the edge, but quite frankly, this entire experience has been a pretty pleasant surprise. Things were a little shaky when taking it out of the box for the first time. The hardware felt great, and the calibration took me a second because the quick start guide was pretty meh, but they have online instructional videos, and so that took me about 5 minutes after that. And once I got flying, things felt great. So first impressions aside, let's go ahead and take a look at what this thing looks like as soon as you take it out of the box. It's unboxing time. We've got overhead cam, side cam, just to see how this goes. Cool little diagram of the drone in the front. On the back, you've got all the warning labels. Nothing too specific stuff to download the app. Some features on the side of the box. And this is what we'll be testing more or less in the latter parts of the video. Oh snap. All right. You got a Ziploc bag. Great. Flight manual, user manual, disclaimer and safety guidelines, quick start guide. This is something I was looking forward to, was the case that it comes with. The case is super nice. It has that like weird case smell, but this is actually genuinely like not cheap. I thought this was gonna be some like weird soft shell case. Oh, here it is. On the right side, we have, ooh, the control. Dang. So I'm only used to relatively cheap things. This controller is actually, it's got a heft to it. We'll go over that later. How do the boxers do it in the pros? They like put it to the side, but in frame still. Now we got the main thing here, the drone. There's another latch on the bottom, does not Velcro off. Lift it up. Ah, okay. I assume this is a second battery, USB Type-C, which is, again, nice. Gel packet, save these for lunch later, just kidding, don't eat them. And then extra blades, because this has blades. Propeller replacements, we'll keep that in the little motor thing. Okay, so the drone and the controller. Okay, so this pops off. Ooh, that's cool. Something to keep the propellers in place. Just pop that forever whenever you store it. Very nice. You got the Bwine F7 branding on it. Ooh, there's like a case for the camera, question mark? Oh, okay. You just hold down the power button and it's on. All right. It's kind of nice. It uses the LED indication to like tell you if it's on or off. I'm presuming this is a release. Yeah, okay. Ooh, nice hefty battery. Build quality feels pretty good. Okay, this clips in. Okay, I see. Very cool. Very nice. Ooh, okay. And then let's turn it on. Takes about 40 seconds for the aircraft to connect to the remote control. Oh, ready. Incredible. Okay, there's a little display on the control, which is kind of cool. I'm a fan. If I can use this without my phone, I'm a big fan. All right, for the best, I can't turn it on. You get a pretty nice hefty controller straight out of the box. It's an actual controller, it's not just some remote control. We'll get to the rest of the claims in the video, but straight out of the box, you get something sturdy, a nice controller, and honestly, a decently nice carrying case that I can see myself using for other things as well. Jumping into this video, I have 3 more sections that I want to go over for things that were important to me as a very novice drone flyer. The first one is flight, just how this thing flies in general. The second thing is the app and camera. And lastly, just talking about the hardware and what it was like crashing into something. I definitely didn't do that. Anyway, let's get started and jump right into talking about how this thing flies. I've pretty much flown drones exclusively indoors / within a very small range. Nonetheless, I did try flying this drone indoors, but it took me a minute to understand what was going on. The quick start guide wasn't too fleshed out. There were some things that I would have loved to have a call out for. When the app crashes as it teaches you to calibrate, it doesn't clarify what calibration looks like, so I had to look up a video for that, but it was super easy to find, so that's good. Nonetheless, to practice flying this thing, we went out to Flushing, which is in New York, because pretty much the entire city is a no-fly zone. Attitude mode. I'm so scared right now. Okay, there we go. Whee! So I'll be taking footage from there and little snippets of us having commentary, just first time impressions flying it. First off, flying this drone is super fun. I've flown a mini drone, I've flown that cheap one I talked about, but they have their certain limitations. This one, it clearly packs that punch of, oh, this is an actual drone. We went to Flushing in New York City and it was super, super windy. One thing I really appreciated, given I've never had experience with it, is that the drone could just sit where it is. It would just sit there, and I was genuinely surprised at how well that worked. The wind was coming.
It's very nice that it just kind of sits.
I think it's the wind.
No, but do you see how it's automatically fighting the wind?
Yeah.
Like, see how slanted it is? I'm very impressed with that.
The wind was coming at it, but the drone itself was really good at staying stationary, and I can't emphasize that enough. While flying, something I'm always worried about is battery life. You know, what happens if the battery's low? Is it just gonna die and fall? The controller does actually show you the battery life of the drone. It's not just some pasted on image. The app does show that as well, but we'll get into that in a minute. And when the battery did die, the drone lowers itself and returns home, which is a great feature. Why wouldn't you want that? Now, there were two modes for the drone, GPS mode and attitude mode. I don't know why it's called attitude mode. I am under the assumption that it's meant to say altitude mode. Altitude mode is effectively the controller connects directly to the drone and you fly it that way. You need the app for the GPS mode, and the app didn't crash when I was trying with GPS mode. When the app was crashing, I was indoors. The flight seemed super beginner friendly. Yeah.
All right, now.
That's up.
Okay, yeah.
When in doubt, press the home button.
I just have to make sure I know that. Okay, cool. Wait. Okay.
I pretty much echoed my own sentiments and said, when in doubt, press the home button. Because as we quickly discovered, the home button was really accurate. The drone would return to pretty much exactly where you launched it from, which was awesome. There was one point where I was like going too far and I couldn't see the orientation of the drone. I hit the home button and I just kind of waited for it to come back.
Come to me, my child.
A test to the range, unfortunately. I was a little nervous trying the range in the middle of New York City, mostly just being conscious and aware of the environment. However, the phone, the app I should say, did accurately report some type of signal strength. I did notice that wavering a little bit with the relatively short distance I was trying, but it does look like GPS mode actually has an effective range. The controls are all relational. In other words, if I hit the left stick, that goes to the drone's left. If I hit left, the drone goes this way. If the drone is facing backwards and I hit left, well, it's gonna go to my right, but the drone's left. And I've become very used to that, and that's why it was easy to fly on altitude mode. I don't really trust myself flying with just the camera. We did poke around the app a little bit to see those various functions, so let's jump into how those things performed, the app and the camera. The app did crash when I tried to use it indoors, but it didn't crash once when I was outdoors. I'm not sure exactly what caused it, but I imagine it's some connection thing. Maybe it couldn't connect to whatever the drone connects to for GPS mode. The app was pretty run-of-the-mill, out of the box, you know, didn't have the best UI, but it was effective. The live stream between the camera and the phone had a super low latency. For the camera, you can go ahead and record from your phone, which just records the live streamed footage, or you can put a micro SD card into the camera itself, which is actually really easy and I'd recommend it, and then get the footage from the SD card. And I imagine that is going to be higher quality footage. So let's talk about that. This drone boasts 4K footage, but it's probably not the 4K that you expect. This is the thing I pretty much expect to see with this kind of equipment. They say 4K, but the megapixel count is low or something along those lines. I can totally see myself using this drone to get some faraway B-roll footage or something like that, but close up, it's just not the 4K that one might expect, because probably of low megapixel count or something like that. So not surprised here, and it's, you know, it's not terrible, but do take it with a grain of salt. You know, keep in mind what these video files look like as I'm showing on the screen now. These are unedited, not compressed in any way, just straight from the micro SD card. The drone also boasts a great night flying camera capability, but I haven't been able to test that yet. I can though, as of tonight recording this. So let's jump to Mark in the future for 30 seconds and see what he says.
All right, so I am out here at night. The drone's above me trying to find its way home. The app keeps crashing, so I can't use it. And I'm trying to record a video to the SD card. So we'll see how the night footage looks. The the controller says it's connecting, but I can still fly the drone when it says that. So I don't know what's happening. But yeah, no, it's pretty visible in the night, and it's still really easy to control. Yeah, the app's a bummer though. It does keep crashing. I'm not sure why. Try with and without SD card, but here we are.
So yeah, as far as the camera goes, I leave that up to you, the viewer, to make your distinction. Better than any drone I have used before. The app is pretty run-of-the-mill. It does force your phone into horizontal mode. At the top here, the drone nor the remote is on, but these reportings were accurate when we were flying. You can click this location for locating the drone. You can do that for launching it. Then you have these gestures here. We did try a GPS follow, but I think it tracked on the wrong object and just went flying somewhere else. And unfortunately, I started doing this toward the end of our flight time. And then you can go ahead and change the lens angle here. For route rules, you can effectively set the path that the drone goes on. So I'm gonna have to blur this because it shows where I live. But the GPS is pretty accurate from when we were flying it. If I go up to the triple dots here, you can see there are more options. Beginner mode was enabled. It has some tracking of everything. It's meters, not miles. And then you can do some tuning for various aspects of the drone that you're free to tweak with. And as we've seen, the phone while flying does accurately stream from the drone, but it's plenty of detail to see where you're going and what the drone's doing. So the hardware. Right off the bat, let's talk about the battery, and the battery is great. There aren't any weight issues, at least not that I noticed. The battery did last for around 21 to 22 minutes by a rough approximation. It was super easy to take the first battery out, then put the second one back in, and it did come with the second one, so that was fantastic. As far as the drone itself, it's great. As you can see from the blades, I ran into things. I couldn't figure out how to manually land, so the blades spun in the dirt a little bit, but they're fine. They work perfectly great. It's not like the thing snapped when it hit something. Then again, it didn't hit any concrete. I'm a pretty good flyer. The body itself, again, pretty sturdy, and the gimbal itself is loose and does seem it's not about to just fall off, although it is a very loose gimbal, but it's a gimbal, that's what it's supposed to do. I'm a huge fan of this controller. From the last two drones I've used, the controllers were flimsy at best and very cheap, but this one does not feel that way. It is hefty. I did throw this thing in my backpack, no worries. And the display on the controller is actually useful. For someone like me, it's very nice to be able to fly this drone without any reliance on the phone. There are some commands that you can use on this controller that aren't shown in the quick start guide from what I could find. You can tap and hold on various things to change the mode, to calibrate, that is in the quick start guide. The button on the right does just home. You can click it, it saved us a few times. Very sturdy controller, but it's not like a brick, right? It's not too heavy. And lastly, the batteries are super easy to charge and everything is USB-C. You charge the controller USB-C, you charge the batteries USB-C. If there was something else you had to charge, you'd probably do that with USB-C. And then with the carrying case, it's all just super convenient to carry around with you straight out of the box. So now for the overall review and summary of my thoughts. As someone who's coming into an actual drone, one that I don't have to be close by to fly, one that's really sturdy, one that records actual footage that I can use somewhere, it's been a great step up. It hasn't been something advertised as the next level, but then I'm just like, oh, this is another thing I've just flown before. No, this is the next step up for someone like me. I wish I lived in a more rural area just so I could try flying at more distances, like if I was in Massachusetts or Vermont, and I will get that chance in the future, and I'll definitely make use of that chance. It's unfortunate I didn't get to test the distance. I just didn't want to be flying it around near apartments, which are everywhere. It is pretty loud, so I can't really fly it indoors, but let's be honest, I don't really have much space to fly it around indoors. I do wish the camera was a little clearer and had a higher megapixel count because I just see this advertised all the time. I am, at this point, not surprised by it. And it makes out plenty of detail to fly by camera because I am curious to try doing that. Naturally, a gimbal is meant to just keep the camera stable. So when the drone flies this way, the camera gimbal will keep the camera straight so you can do this. So of course it's not perfect, but it would have been nice to adjust it should there be a motor in there and whatnot. The hardware it comes with feels exceptional. I think it feels worth the price. It definitely feels like a higher priced drone that I would pay for. While the F7 doesn't break any exceptional boundaries by doing something new, and it's a little pricey, it isn't as pricey as some high-end competitors, as it remains a really fun drone to fly, and I really enjoyed my experience with it, an actual drone for the first time. Thanks for watching. If you have any feedback, I'd love to hear it. Tech reviews are not my main thing, so any and all systematic feedback feedback is good. If you have questions, let me know. I can try to help, although I'm not official Bwine support. There will be a link to the drone in the description down below on Amazon if you'd like to check it out. And without further ado, thanks yet again for watching. Have a good one, and as always, don't forget to stay awesome. See you next week.